Welcome to the Rusted Garden. Today is all about taking care of your container tomatoes. These are my Determinate variety tomatoes that I've been talking about for 2018. They were seed started indoors on March 4th, put out here as transplants on April 28th, and now come, where are we, May 27th, they are ready to be staked, lightly pruned. I've already mulched, I'll talk about that. And I'm going to top dress the soil in a couple different ways so you can pick what works best for you and just show you how I water these in. But this is everything you need to know to get your Determinate variety container tomatoes ready for full flower production and fruit production. So this is where the plants are going to be at the end of the video. But I wanted to give you a couple of general ideas on how to feed them. So when you drop your tomatoes into the container, you want your container soil prepped with your fertilizers. I've talked about that in other videos. Then as they're growing, a water-soluble fertilizer every 10 to 14 days poured on here on the plants in the fashion that I'm going to show you at the end of this video. And you'll do the water-soluble fertilizer every 10 to 14 days. When they're smaller, you don't need it as often. When they get bigger, a little more often. And we did the side dressing too, or at least you'll see the side dressing, and you do that at mid-growth for your container tomatoes. Now these are Determinate variety tomatoes, which again means they grow to a set height, they flower, and they produce fruit, and then they die off. Determinate varieties are perfect for containers because they will flower quickly, they will produce fruit fairly quickly, and then they die off, and then you can replant. And they only get to a set height. When you grow the indeterminate varieties in containers, they can get 6-7 feet tall. They grow all season, and sometimes it's a challenge to really keep them watered. So one tip that I have for your determinate tomatoes or your indeterminate tomatoes or anything you're growing in containers is one, make sure you're using at least 5-7 gallon container for the determinate type tomatoes, maybe a little bit bigger for the indeterminates. I've used 5-gallon containers and it works. You just have to water more often. So the bigger the container, the less you have to worry about moisture. And then I just recommend shredded hardwood. It's something that you can put in about 1 inch on top of your containers. That helps manage the moisture, and that helps you have a more successful garden. Because if these dry out just one time, it really damages the plant. And you can see that they're doing really well. Now, your determinate varieties, you don't prune heavily. Do not remove a lot of the leaves. I'm just going to take off a little bit from the bottom to allow for some air circulation, and just, whoa, these scissors are kind of tight there. Just trim a couple of branches out from underneath. We're not going to remove the suckers or anything like that. And this will allow airflow, and that's all I'm going to really do to trim my determinate varieties, taking away some of the leaves so that the air can flow through there. You don't have to remove this whole leaf, just cut half of it. Same thing back there, we'll get to that one later. But that is basically all I'm going to prune the determinate varieties, and then we're going to put the stakes in. Just light pruning, we're not getting in there removing the suckers. You want the maximum flowering, the maximum fruit production for your determinate varieties because they will die off. Okay, let's get to the staking. So for staking your determinate varieties, you need about a 4-foot stake. These are bamboo little poles that you can get. I got these at my local hardware store. It was $5.99 for 25. And it's pretty straightforward. You're just going to look where the stem is, go out about 2 inches. Don't go too close because you don't want to shear off the roots at the base of the plant. It's okay if you damage a little bit out here. The plant's not going to notice. You put in one, and then I put in a second one. Always put the thicker side in. And then I'll show you a couple ways to trellis, to tie the tomato off to the bamboo poles. We can also even weave them in between here. But this is the basic setup. So let me get these all pruned, get the stakes in. I'll show you how to tie them off, and then we'll get to top dressing and water-soluble feeding to get these all ready for the rest of the season. So here are my 8 tomato plants, mostly pruned from the bottom. I'm not taking any suckers off. I'm not cutting them back harshly. These are determinate varieties, so they're going to flower, set fruit, and die off. So all the stakes have been put in. I'm putting 2 4-foot bamboo stakes right next to each plant. And the basic idea is this. Right along the bottom, I have one long piece of jute, tie it right here, go behind the plant, make sure all the stems are inside the string or jute, all the way around, one wrap around this pole, and then I come in front, making sure these stems are inside the jute also. And I'm basically just corralling all the growth right here, so as these plants get bigger and heavier, or these stems get bigger and heavier, they're not going to flop over, maybe break, cause damage or anything like that. And then as I come up to the top where needed, this is actually splitting off in a V to 2 stems. Leave enough room that you're not smashing your stem against the stake, and just tie it off. So this will support the growth right here, and this piece over here will support the growth here. I probably won't have to do much more tying down of this plant to the stakes, but they're 4-foot bamboo posts, plenty of room for this determinate variety. Most determinate varieties get somewhere between, if you're doing dwarfs, 2 feet all the way up to 5 feet. So let me tie all these off, same method. There's no exact way to stake your tomato plants. This is just one way that I find works really well with containers. The 2 stakes give the extra support. So let me finish that off. I'll show you that, and then we will get to feeding the plants. I'm going to use worm castings if you want to do that. Also going to use organic fertilizer if you want to do it that way. Either way is fine. Oh, one more tip is when you take, and I've been stepping on these, that's why they look even more beat up. But if you take all your cuttings, this is the cuttings from 8 tomato plants, so not that much, and just inspect them. So I found here a couple of holes, snails or slugs, no big deal. There was some yellowing, like right in here on some of the leaves. No big deal, that's just natural yellowing. So you inspect it because you look for diseases, which I didn't find any, and you look for any real problems with pests, which I didn't find any either. So these are really, really healthy. So let me get to us finish staking these off, and then we'll get to the feeding. So they've all been pruned, staked, and tied. And here, for example, this is my silvery fir. So I have the string right down there, and it's basically the big loop all the way around, corralling in the plant. And I did that again up here. So this tomato is being tied with the 2 big, corralling type ties, because there's so many different stems in there. And I just wanted to show you that because you're going to really just tie them off and stake them based on what your plant's really doing. Over here, it's just more of a single stem that's naturally growing that way, and I just tied it off once, if you can see right back there. 1 tie of the main stem, and that's all you need. So again, when you're learning things, go with the principles, go with the ideas, stake these as are fit for your different tomatoes. Now, at this point, the determinate varieties are all producing flowers, just about. I even have tomatoes growing in there. You can see the silvery fir is producing. I know that this variety will produce a lot of tomatoes. That's why I did the string here and here, because it really will get weighted down. And that's why you're staking them now, because they don't have the weight of the tomatoes. You're getting them ready. Now for top dressing, you can really use whatever product you want. I would go with an organic fertilizer in this case, of course, not a human-made chemical type fertilizer. Although I use both in water-soluble form, you don't really want to use that for the top dressing. So that's about a tablespoon. Sprinkle it around the top. 1 tablespoon. 2 tablespoons. And then I like using the mulch for several reasons. So now I can just work the 2 tablespoons of organic fertilizer in, and you can get a basic idea of how I do it. Something this size, 2 tablespoons. Any organic fertilizer, they're all basically the same. This size would get probably 1, 2, 3 tablespoons. Now, I've really been enjoying using the worm castings. Worm castings, I'm going to use about a handful, just like this. You can use one or the other, or both. Why am I using both? Because I've really seen great results this year with the addition of the castings. And again, work that in. The castings are going to bring in good microbes that will help break down that organic fertilizer you just put in. It also brings in a bunch of other things that I'm not going to go into because I just did a really long video on it, but I will link it to this one. And that would be the basic setup. You don't have to use worm castings. You don't have to use the organic fertilizer. You could use one, you could use the other, you could use both, but this is just how I do it. So for the top dressing, it's usually a granular form of fertilizer, organic, preferably worm castings. At this point, if you have your own compost, you could put a layer of compost on here and just work it in too. But the reason you're doing this is because tomatoes grow roots across the surface, and they're the roots that really pull in nourishment. So you're putting the fertilizer right up here. This is going to give the plant a boost, and it will do really well. So now we're going to go with the feeding. You could use worm casting tea. I've used that when I did the other video earlier this week. So I'm going to give this a drink of fish emulsion, which is a 3-1-1 fertilizer. The only knock on fish emulsion is if you're going to be having a barbecue today or tomorrow, don't use the fish emulsion because it stinks. It takes about 2 days for the odor to go away. But let's get to the feeding. So we've got the top dressing on the surface. We're going to water it in with a water-soluble fertilizer, and then these tomatoes are pretty much left to go. So let me just clarify a couple of points before I get to the fish emulsion. Sometimes it's hard, you know, shooting a video, talking and doing all at the same time. So I just want to be clear, for human-made chemical fertilizers, what I was saying is don't use granular form human-made chemical fertilizers that you would put in there. I use that for the water-soluble, it's perfectly safe and fine, but you want to use the granule type organic fertilizers or the worm castings. Now, when you use the organic granular type that you saw me use, that has to be broken down by soil life. It's not in the form of NP and K that your tomatoes can use. And that can take quite a bit of time for it to break down. So that's why we're going to be using the fish emulsion, because that's a water-soluble fertilizer that's already available. And the NP and K is, the NP and K is in a form that the plant can use immediately. So the granule organic is more of a slow release. But when you add in the worm castings, you're adding in nature, you're adding in microbiology. That microbiology, the fungus, the fungi in there, will start breaking that organic fertilizer down more quickly, and your plants will be able to use it. So that's why I'm using it in combination. But just keep in mind, you have soluble type fertilizer. So here's the fish emulsion. This is basically all I do. Quick pour on top, and then soak down the whole surface just like that. Doesn't take long, and we're using a gallon. Again, soak the top and then just soak the surface down. So this is in a water-soluble form of NP and K, which means the plants can actually absorb it through the leaves and into the root system, through the root system right away. So that's basically how I set up my Determinate variety tomatoes that I'm growing in containers. This is really all the feeding they're going to need this way to have them really produce nicely and get a lot of flowers and get a lot of fruit production. I will give them future water-soluble feedings of either the worm castings or the fish emulsion, but probably a combination of both. And this year, you might have noticed I'm really incorporating the worm castings and worm casting tea into my garden. I've been really impressed with the size of the plants using those products. I used them last year in a test run. They're even doing better this year. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please check out my seed shop at www.therustedgarden.com. Thanks for watching.